Hi, this is Travis Cochran from the team Familiar Faces and our game um, Carpe Nocturne Seize the Night. For the first section of this video, we're going to go over a brief overview of the game and some main additions since we last saw everybody at week 6. Basically, the game is a 2D platformer themed sort of very cyberpunky as a smuggler getting across the city collecting as much loot as he can. Since week 6, we've replaced several placeholder sprites, including but not limited to cameras, lasers, added new player animations, replaced several platforms, included enemy sprites and loot and pickups and things of that nature. We added in a pause menu and we got sounds working in the game, as well as a loot pickup system that fully functions. We also added in some AI that was a little bit more improved. It's got fixed pathfinding. The enemies now shoot at the player and can damage him, which is a big upgrade for us. As far as the team plan goes, at the start of the project, we had a task list going on Jira for everything we wanted on this quarter. Originally, there were about 50 tasks. We have almost all of those completed as of right now. There are a total of 75 tasks on there with only 15 remaining, which were added after a recent playtesting session. So essentially the challenge of the game is trying to get from point A to B through enemies and traps. And the goal would be to make it to the end with full health and as much loot as you can possibly gather. For part 2 of this, for the aesthetic of the game, we chose cyberpunk, sort of high-tech, low-life, as it's most commonly described. And so we chose a lot of blues and darker colors to sort of give almost a sort of seedy feel to it, whilst remaining a little futuristic. And the player is playing someone on the wrong side of the tracks who's sneaking around a lot, so we felt that the darkness would sort of help with that. And the lasers, laser traps, bullets from the enemies, and any traps of that nature, all those things are sort of tinged at least with a little bit of red, sort of just to give an innate sense of danger to them. Loot and pickups sort of glow a little bit, so that the players are sort of drawn to them to think, oh, I should maybe go and touch that. None of us can really resist shiny things. And for the player, he's a little bit more saturated than the colors in the background to make him pop out just a little bit more. And design-wise, it's fairly straightforward. Get through the traps, move on to the next building, avoiding enemies if you can. And so aesthetically, it's sort of a slightly darker cyberpunk. There are some vibrant colors throughout, some small reds and things of that nature, but overall with slightly darker tones as the player goes through.
This is PJ Nicolia from the Familiar Faces team, which comprises Paul Bernard, Travis Cochran, Chris Marks, and myself. Show you a little bit about the gameplay for our game. This is the main menu. From here you can go and play the game. So our game is a cyberpunk platformer where you play as a smuggler and you have to make it through the city smuggling and stealing things and trying not to get caught by the traps, the camera, the lasers, and the enemies. So big mechanic is as you see right here, is the tractor beam arm, which is how you pick up the items and how you pick up and how you pull yourself to walls and to platforms. So you can see me pulling myself up here is that's using the tractor beam arm, and how I destroyed the power panel, which activates and deactivates the lasers. So you use the object to destroy the power panels for the lasers, and the camera itself to destroy the camera, so you can get past that. These robots going back and forth are our main enemy. Right now it's only just that one sprite, but in the future hopefully there'll be more enemy types. So just gotta make it through the level using your strategy of how you're gonna use your energy, because the tractor beam arm uses this blue energy bar down here that you see moving as I'm picking up the object. But the blue thing I just picked up, the glowing blue item, actually, as you saw probably, it actually boosted my energy back up. So I'm going through here. The objective is to destroy the last lasers so you can get to the exit door. And once you destroy the last lasers, you climb up the last building, missing all the enemies, and you make it to the exit door right here. And once you do that, you're done. So thank you, that was our gameplay, and thank you for watching.
All the functionality and controls for the game. First, let me start off by explaining the code. Most of the code of this game is laid out with layers of indirection to allow for easy changes to the code. Allows us to change one thing on one end and not have it affect anything on the other end. So the game manager runs the whole game, contains a finite state machine, and this allows the game manager to navigate throughout the game shell easily, and allows it to transition to the main game itself. And all these states are set through the game manager and are called from different scripts that exist throughout the game. Each level itself has its own level manager to control all the elements of that current level, all the pickups and enemies and traps, which is what each level contains. All the enemies in each level also contain a finite state machine that allow it to transition between states of attack, chase, and patrol. And depending on the state it's in, it has different behaviors that it does, whereas if it's patrolling, it's just going back and forth on the platform. It's chasing, it's coming after you, and attacking, well, that's kind of self-explanatory. It's attacking you. The traps in the game are tied into an alert system, which allows the enemy to come after you even if it doesn't see you first. So that's why it brings in a stealth mechanic which keeps you from going near the traps or disabling them first before you get to them. So in the game, there's 4 different kind of pickups. You have the energy pickup, the health pickup, the loot pickup, and you have a grabbable object pickup. Energy, health, and loot pickups, self-explanatory. They give you extra health, energy, and loot. And the grabbable objects are items that can be picked up and then shot at enemies to remove them from the game. These objects all have different colors that allow them to be easily distinguished from one another, and it's actually just one script that powers it all, and it allows the designers to make the distinguish which pickup they want in that place. The player class is actually the most robust of all these scripts that were developed for the game. Just to let you know the controls: A moves left, D moves right, spacebar allows you to jump, left mouse button is grappled to the platform, right mouse button picks up an object, and also the player starts off with 100 energy and 100 health. The health is regained through the pickups that I previously mentioned, and the energy, if you're under 65% energy, it actually regenerates it every couple seconds, a certain amount of energy, and then anything after 65%, it's actually regained through the pickups. You won't regenerate anything over 65%. And that's all the mechanics and code for the game. If you have any questions, be sure to contact us.